as far as your performance, how would you rate it, and what did you see in the ring against Avanesyan?
It was a good performance, a good comeback fight. I ain't fighting a year, so felt good to be back in the ring. Felt good to be home. The crowd was loving it. I'm glad to be back.
JP Miranda with LatinoSports.com. Congratulations to you, Boots. Congratulations to Bozy. Did you find yourself at any point during the fight, or even just coming out to the ring, in awe of the amount of fans, the love, and the support that you were receiving?
Yeah, it was dope. It was a great experience coming out walking out in front of my friends and family, supporters at this big arena. It was a blessing. I was taking it all in.
All right, secondary question.
No Diddy. Yo.
Leave Diddy alone, man.
Yo, what'd you say? My bad. Excuse my French.
Eddie Hearn said that you guys had a FaceTime with the Ecstasy and discussed the possible fight with Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
If that fight was next, would you be interested in fighting that fight at 154 pounds?
Like I always say, I don't care. I just want to fight the top guys, the best guys. They're going to bring the best side out of me, and not these guys that's on the lower level. When you fight somebody that's sharp and good like you, it make you better. Who knows? The fight could be easier. When you fight somebody on your level or supposed to be above your level.
James Bell here at the Boston Sword. So first off, that was wild, that last one. My question to you is reference to David Avanesyan. What did you see from him in those first couple of rounds where you were able to make the proper adjustments? Because he was looking tough in those first couple of rounds, but once you got comfortable, you were able to see or get his timing down and be able to score that knockdown in the fifth round.
I ain't gonna lie, he was moving a lot more than I expected him to move. Thought he was gonna come forward a little more. But I don't know.
Did he do anything that surprised you in the ring? Any adjustments you had to make? That's the first question. And the second one is, talk to us about your last fight being in Atlantic City at the Boardwalk Hall, and then coming here to an arena where, according to your promoter, fans were still lining up to buy tickets as you were walking out to the ring.
Yeah, well, your first question, he didn't really, I seen everything he was doing. That's just me being, my timing being a little off. Like I said, I didn't think my timing was going to be off, but it was, but I seen everything my pop was telling me catch and slip. My timing was just off a little bit, but everything be good, next fight will be better and sharper and on point. And but yeah, like you said, coming from fighting the AC in a small arena and then coming here to fighting to Philly in my hometown to a big arena, definitely a big difference. It's way better. Way better atmosphere. And I'm glad I was able to do it. And put on a show in front of my friends and family.
Hey, Jaron, two quickies over here. Hey.
I ain't gonna lie, Philly drunk right now. we drunk right now, yo.
So the first one is, obviously I've been talking to you for years and years, and you've dreamt about this moment, fighting here in this arena. Was it everything that you thought would be?
Yeah, it was everything. You know what? I ain't even gonna say that.
Got it started with no Diddy.
No, it was great though. It was everything. I always thought it was gonna be. Like I said before, I had just rung the bell here in March. For the Sixers game, and I told my security, I was like, yo, I said I'm gonna sell this place out. And a month later, did the partnership. Miss Eddie brought me home. And now I did it.
And the second one, when that fifth bell and you went to end the round, did you think that the fight was over? What were your thoughts going back to the corner? And were you surprised that the fight was done after the fifth round?
No, I knew I was going to stop him. I was just, every round I felt him breaking down and decreasing, But I definitely knew I was going to stop him. It was just a matter of time. I just had to get in my bag a little bit, pick it up a little more, that's about it.
Yo, Boots. Miguel with Town Biz Sports and Entertainment.
Everybody's been asking about grades for your performance in the ring, but I just want to ask an unorthodox question. You know, it's your first fight with Eddie. You're here at home. You had a great sellout crowd. Obviously, you were excited. You said it was a dream come true. Can you just give Eddie an early grade for your first fight with him with Matchroom?
Eddie, an early grade? You want me to give him a grade?
Give him a grade as a promoter. So far.
At A+++++.
What about you? What about you, Bozy?
The grade I give him is 10. 10, 10, 10, 10.
I'm so glad this is live.
Listen, Eddie, he know what he doing, man. He's one of the greatest promoters out here today. He knows exactly what he doing, man. That's why you see a lot of fighters is coming to him. You know what I mean? And a lot of them follow behind Boots.
I think I'll say this as well. You know, they say that a trainer is only as good as his fighter. I'm not, you know, but also a promoter is also only as good as his fighter. And the reality is you need quality fighters. You need a big TV deal, and you need great fighters. And you know what we saw tonight was just. I think that, you know, I said to you guys, I'd love to take all the credit, and Boots would, but no one anticipated that. Honestly, you know, we were in a coin flip to do the Leah chorus or here. And it was like, let's go big. We've got to make a statement. You know, I'm thinking, oh, let's do 7,000, 8,000, please. And then all of a sudden it's like 10. Then the top tiers open. And then, like, honestly, they were queuing on his ring walk out there tonight. Like, it was unbelievable. And I just love it. You know, I love just looking around and just standing in the ring and watching Boots come out, you know. And we've done so many homecomings, and it ain't easy. You know, and I know that he felt his timing was off, but also, you know, you're looking around and he's smiling and he's here and he's there. It's, like, it's hard, you know, you really have to be in a fight. You've got to be real zoned in. And a lot of that comes from knowing the opponent's dangerous, I think, as well. But it's difficult on a homecoming, you know. Done so many with Anthony Joshua where he's sort of walking out, oh, my God, yeah, and it's like, whoa, come on, you know. And that was a great experience for him tonight, because next time he's in front of a crowd like that, it will be a much bigger test.
Hello, Boots. How you doing, man? Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You and your dad. You say your time was off, but I noticed you were having some fun. What were you and Sean Porter talking about between the second and third round?
No,
I know you were talking to him.
No, I just laughed at him. I think he said something. I just laughed. I just smiled. Like, I'm aware of everything that be going on when I'm in the ring. You know, I'm comfortable in there. So he didn't say anything. I just laughed. I mean, I didn't say anything. I just laughed at him. Yeah.
Joe Wood, Edge of Philly Sports. So you talk about going big. Obviously, Crawford is a huge step up in an opponent. Is there any possibility maybe coming back to Philly and doing one of the larger stadiums with Crawford?
Well, that'd be nice. Across the road, you know. Look, just to make it clear, for me, the number one priority is to unify the division, right? Because he's going to move to 54 at some point. But you don't really want to go before you've taken care of business. So we know that, you know, and that's when I said the conversations with His Excellency tonight was, he said, look, do you think Boots will fight Crawford? I said, yeah.
Send a contract.
I said, yeah. Here's what he said. That was his reply. Send the contract.
I said, send the contract.
Yeah. So that's for next year, but we're going to fight again in October, November. And I said to His Excellency, maybe if you want, we'll go co-main event on Bivol Beterbiev in October out there, you know? Or we can come back here. But I'll tell you what, you know, I've not thought about that. I mean, him versus Boots at the ballpark, him versus Crawford at the ballpark, fuck me. I mean, this table's about to jump up in a minute. That's got me really excited.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute. No, did he?
No, did he? Sorry, I should have said it first. I'm just learning slowly. I'm from England. Sorry.
Yo, y'all crazy in this joint, yo.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Congratulations on the win. This is Najee from Cigar Talk. I hate to be this guy, but it's viral on Twitter. Terence Crawford put out a tweet. He said, "World-class fighter." He was questioning your status as a world-class fighter. I just wanted to get your reaction to that, both Bozy and Boots.
What you mean?
I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, he just put out a tweet, said, "World-class fighter, Han, the double standards are crazy." And he added Eddie Hearn.
World-class Honda? What does he mean?
Yeah, he said world-class fighter. I guess he's trying to say if you're a world-class fighter.
Sign the contract. Exactly, sign the contract.
All he had to do is fight him and find out if he's a world-class fighter or not.
Yo, if he
I'm
wanted-
saying, I get it. It's just viral,
if
so
he
it's something I
want- if
can't,
he-
we
if he
can't ignore
want-
that.
If he wanted to fight, he would have stayed at 47.
And
He obviously said he he wanted to move up in accomplish to be undisputed at 54 or something like that. So, yeah, he definitely did say that too. Exactly. Yeah.
We ain't worrying about right now. We ain't worrying about Crawford. We gonna clean 147 now, and then we gonna move to 154. If he there and he got a belt, we coming after him. Simple as that.
David Melandro, Sports Talk Philadelphia Boots. Can you talk about your entrance tonight, especially going with the Undertaker theme?
Yeah, I mean that's the second. That's my thing now. You know,
Epic.
Yeah, it's Undertaker. You know, that's the walkout. When you hear that, you know what time it is. It's work time. CBG.
Maurice Jones, Four Corners Boxing here. First of all, congratulations on your homecoming boots. We know a lot of guys who's having homecomings, they failed. You know, you just see Matias didn't put on a great performance. And this is a two-part question. First one goes out to your dad, Coach Bosey. You predicted 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I told Eddie.
You said it. You said no later than 5.
Oh, you remember that? Yeah,
I remember that.
That's right.
So we're gonna need those lottery numbers to later on tonight because you was slide on the money.
Yeah,
And 2, Boots. We seen that he was a little bit difficult at some points. You know, he tried to go in there and bang a little bit, but you know the body shots started to work in your favor. What was it that you noticed at certain points in the fight? Like, okay, I know he can't handle my power. And just listening to your dad in the corner, that you know you can work smarter, not harder.
I like I said before, every round I felt like he was just decreasing, and my pop when I came back to the corner, my pop kept saying just have fun a little bit, you know, don't look for it. And I wasn't looking for it. I was chilling, like, you know, I was in there just trying to find my groove, you know, get back in the groove, and I wound up catching him and start having my fun a little bit in 4 or 5 rounds, the 4th and the 5th round, and that was it, you know. So she wrote.
Oh, okay. Chris Murray from the Philadelphia Sunday Sun and from WURD Radio. We'd love to have you on the show at some point. But my question to you is: your father said last year that, you know, there are so many levels to your potential. Mm-hmm. For you to come out, you know, somewhat, you know, after that year layoff, mm-hmm. and put on the performance that you put on tonight. I mean, how do you feel about how good you can be in, you know, at this level?
I feel like it can be phenomenal. Like I said, so for a year, you know, and I got many more tools and many more things, you know, in my arsenal. I just gotta, you know, get the opportunity to, you know, show it and show it against a, you know, a top guy. So.
And Bosey, what are your thoughts about that? Just looking at tonight and just seeing, you know, just really how good that. Not a little bit of ring rust, but he, you know, but it was an impressive finish.
I thought he did a great job for being out a year, you know, and I told him to do that. What he was doing inside, I said, fight him inside, break him down inside. Then I told him box a little bit, you know what I mean, then break him down. And I told him eventually he gonna wind up stopping, you know what I mean. But I knew he's gonna quit. If he wasn't gonna quit, he was gonna get knocked out cold.
Hey, Boots, over here. It's right here. Hey, how you doing?
What's going on?
Great win tonight.
Appreciate it.
It's Vince the Writer, Boxing News 24. Initially, you were supposed to fight Crawley,
mm-hmm.
and then Avanesyan stepped in. Describe the process you had to go through as far as your training for a different opponent.
No different.
Yeah, it wasn't no different. You know, like I always say, we got every style in my camps. We got southpaws, orthodox, pressure fighters, boxers, tall, short, everything. So we prepared for anything because you never know what a guy might do. Like tonight, Avanesyan really wasn't really putting pressure like that for real. He was coming, but he wasn't
jumping in.
He wasn't walking forward. He was walking forward. He wasn't walking forward like how he usually do. So, you know, every time somebody fight me, they change their whole style up. So, you know.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure about you lot.
Yo.
Last question.
This question for Boots.
Yo.
Boots. Any thoughts? So non-boxing related. Donald Trump got into an incident in PA today. He got shot. What are your thoughts?
What?
Yeah.
They tried to assassinate
Yeah,
Trump.
he got shot. He got shot
him in
at.
the
He
ear.
didn't get shot.
Where?
2 people died at his rally.
PA.
In PA.
Butler, western part of Pennsylvania.
You lying?
Nah.
No, for real.
You drawing boots. Why would I be lying?
Yo. What was the question?
Donald Trump got shot. What are your thoughts on that?
We ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I ain't. Yeah.
And on that, ladies and gentlemen, still IBF World Champion, Jaron Boots Ennis.
Yo, what?
Thank you so much, everybody, for all your support. We'll be back soon. Thank
He
you.
said
Great
Donald
night.
Trump.
Kevin Garcia with Fight Hype. So, Eddie, let's talk about it because the fight just ended and right away the internet's lighting up. So I just wanted to bring to your attention, you probably have no idea, but Terence Crawford chimed in.
Right.
And he said something along the lines of that there were double standards, and he was kind of sarcastic in stating that is Boots a world-class fighter? Response for Terence.
I don't really know what the question is, but
Question is, what is your response for Terence Crawford and him chiming in on saying that Boots, or alluding to the fact that Boots may not be a world-class fighter?
well, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Boots is the best welterweight in the world. I mean, tell me a better welterweight than Boots Ennis. Impossible. There isn't one. So he's the best welterweight in the world. I mean, we just finished a FaceTime with His Excellency, who asked me, will we make the Crawford fight? And the answer, Boots said to him, send the contract. So Terence Crawford, if he gets past Madrimov on August 3rd, will have the chance to see if Boots is a world-class fighter. And I think if Canelo Alvarez doesn't fight Terence Crawford, which I don't think he will, I believe you're going to see Boots Ennis against Crawford if he beats Madrimov in 2025, first quarter.
There you go. Could you talk about his performance tonight a little bit? Again, Bud and him shared Avanesyan as a common opponent. He got him out of there in 5 rounds. Bud got him out of there in 6. Do you think he made a statement in doing that?
Yeah, I don't really. I think the rounds, I think it's just the way that he did it. I mean, bear in mind he'd been out for a year, and he kind of, with all due respect to Avanesyan, he really played with him. I mean, he didn't let himself get hit, but he had no regard for what was coming back. He was trying to have fun in there. He was trying to get him out of there. He was trying to be aggressive, and also he'd been out of the ring for a year. I think he felt that his performance was quite average, Boots. And I said, well, if that was an average performance, I mean, you've just destroyed David Avanesyan. It was so one-sided. I know Avanesyan was trying, and he landed a few bits and pieces. But if you're breezing through guys like that, I just the problem is, away from Stanionis, away from Barrios, I want to see him tested, because when you got someone, it's a bit like Shakur. Like Shakur fighting these guys, it's a little bit of a waste of time. Who wants to see 120, 108 3 times? Or a one-sided beatdown? So one's okay, and getting active's okay, but you've got to create the great fight so they can define their legacy, these great fighters.
Eddie, David Melandro, Sports Talk, Philadelphia. Can you just talk about the overall experience having this fight here in Philadelphia and any potential chance of bringing these fights back to Philly?
Yeah, I honestly blown away by the crowd. I mean, I would like to say it was down to the promoter. And the promotion has been great, but I never expected to do over 14,000. I mean, it was just incredible. Like Bozy was saying to me, looking around. I mean, it's also quite difficult for Boots and Button. They've never experienced anything like this before. And Bozy was just looking around saying, I can't believe all these people. I can't believe all these people. And it was just incredible to see someone that has worked so hard, the whole family really. And I think more importantly, they're really good people. I think they're outstanding. I think Boots is a great role model. If you speak to him, he's dedicated his life to the sport. He's lived right. You won't see him get caught slipping. You won't see him falling out of a nightclub. You won't see him ballooning in weight and eating shit. You'll just see him dedicated to his craft. And I think the city should be proud of him. I'm still learning these players. We're on the run of incredible crowds with Matchroom shows, but coming here, I don't know what it is. Why do American promoters not headline with guys in their hometown? Like, I'm coming over and doing it like it's some kind of like nouveau technique and style. Like, fuck me, how stupid are they? Like when we sign Boots, Boots is amazing, but no one knows who he is. You know, he can't sell tickets. I mean, we would have done a huge rating on DAZN tonight. The build-up content, everything across social, the digital numbers has been astronomical for him. And we do 14,000. Like, you could literally name the fighters on one hand who can do 14,000 tickets in America. I don't even think you can get to 5. You know? So, and that was, with all due respect, that was against David Avanesyan. Imagine if you bring a mega fight here. I mean, you do the lot. And no, it was an incredible experience.
Eddie over here, Milka Barnett, Maestro A Boxing. I actually wanted to ask a very similar question. I was at the last Boots fight. It was at the Boardwalk Hall. Not where Gotti fought, but at the theater of the Boardwalk Hall. You know, it seems almost like you found something a little bit magical here because you've got the DMV at one end, you've got New York City at the other end, and Philly right in the middle. You had fighters from the DMV, fighters from New Jersey, and then obviously you had Boots in the main event. Is this something that could have happened before, do you think, or is it just...
But it should happen when you've got a great fighter.
Yeah.
It should have happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and you build him. I mean, like, to be in your first big fight and do 14,000, like, you should really be doing 2, 3, 5, 6, then you're in the Lear chorus, then you go to, then you're here. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's like a gradual growth. And you know, it's like when we did Devin Haney against Regis Prograis in San Francisco. Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, there has never been boxing in San Francisco for ages, and no one knows who Devin Haney is." We did 16,000. Like, there is a thing about also going to towns that haven't had big time boxing for a while, yet are big sports cities. Like, again, I'm obviously coming over from another country, and I'm looking in this car park. And there's a 60,000, 70,000 stadium there. 100 yards away, there's a football stadium with another 50, 60,000. Then you've got one of the best arenas in the country, I think, in Wells Fargo, all within like 100 yards of each other. I mean, like, we don't get that in England, you know? And I just, none of it really makes sense. I mean, we're doing, obviously, when we did Bam against Estrada, that was in Phoenix. Really, we racked up 9,000 in there. Bam's from San Antonio. You know, Estrada's obviously Mexican, but I think Matias in Puerto Rico, 9,000 in there. Like, we're really getting our teeth into these crowds now.
So my follow up then is this potentially an annual thing here for Boots? And we have Andy Cruz Jr., a new Philly fighter. Yeah. Could he potentially be on one of these shows as well?
Yeah, I think that, you know, what you can't do is keep bringing the same kind of fights to the same, you know, I think, I said to His Excellency tonight, I said, I think you should put him on the Bivol Beterbiev undercard in Riyadh, you know, because you can't just keep coming back all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, if you come back in October, November with Barrios or Stanionis, no problem. But what you can't do is just keep coming back with the same product all the time. Like, that was great. Tonight was amazing. That was the homecoming. The next one should be the unification or the mega fight, right? Because you can't just rely on the city to just keep coming out every 3 months, 15,000. It doesn't work like that. So there's a lot to plan, but activity is key. That was his first fight in a year. So he's got to fight in October, November.
Hey, Eddie over here. Alex Secchio with Prime Point Media. You have Boots Promotions attached to this show. A lot of his stablemates, Ish, Christian Cardo, Dennis Thompson. How did you think of their performance fighting on an elite card in this arena tonight?
Well, Thompson's 18, right? And it was his debut. I thought he was fantastic. You know, Ishmael was in a very, very tough fight. I knew that would be a very tough fight. I thought Christian Cardo looked great. So that's important, you know, and I think that you need to build young fighters in the city. I think it's an incredible thing that Boots Ennis can build a stable of fighters in the city. And of course, there's a lot of other fighters in the city as well. But this goes back to the type of individual that he is. He really cares about those kids, and he cares about the kids in the gym. You know, he was watching, texting even when he was at home resting, asking how they were getting on, and you saw him post across social media, I'm so proud of you, I'm so proud of you. Like, we all sit here now, boxing's taken over all of our lives, isn't it, really? I mean, we're all, like, addicts. But for him, boxing is his whole life. And if he can motivate the younger generation of kids from the city, I think it's an incredible thing. And I think if I lived in this city, and, you know, I would want my kids to look up to someone like Boots, because I know how he lives his life, and I know how dedicated he is to his craft. And I think kids need more guidance. I mean, I think all kids should be in a boxing gym, to be honest with you. But, you know, I think you got someone that, you know, he's not going to be, he's going to be a role model for kids in the city. And I think that's important.
Hey, I have a Yeah, I have a question. Though this fight started at approximately 11 o'clock, and I grew up in the age where we saw boxing in prime time, whether it was national TV or even if it were pay-per-view. And what you guys have going in Riyadh, in which you can see fights in the afternoon, like on ABC's Wild World of Sports, from the bygone era. I'm wondering, is there a way to kind of schedule a lot of these fights in prime time? Because I think that the sport probably needs get that prime time light for fans who are not necessarily boxing fans, but, you know, just to draw a larger audience. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think that's a good question. I think something in the UK that we're finding is that, you know, we try very hard to have the main event at 10 p.m. in the UK, and we're not always successful because it drags on, and the TV likes to talk about the fight for 20 minutes, and then there's an advert, and then there's a promo for another fight, and et cetera, et cetera. I think when there's a show from Riyadh, don't forget those fights in Riyadh are about 3 o'clock in the morning in Riyadh time, and they're afternoon time in the US, and they don't rate very well. So the afternoon slot or late afternoon slot for boxing doesn't work. However, I do think there's validity to your point that it could be a little bit earlier than that. You know, obviously on the West Coast, you know, it's 11 p.m. tonight. On the East Coast, what's that? 8 p.m. West Coast, 9 p.m. Central Time. So, yeah, I think. But also there was a ball game that finished at 7 p.m. tonight, 7:30, 6 p.m. We sold a huge amount of tickets in the last. They were the venue texted me to say they're still queuing up when the fighters were doing their ring walks. So, you know, I think. But from a TV perspective, yeah, I do think you're right. Sometimes it can drag on a little bit too much and too late.
Hey, Eddie, what's going on? This is Najee from Cigar Talk. I interviewed Shakur Stevenson this week after his fight. You actually retweeted it. He said that he felt like you were the best promoter. Obviously, I saw him here. You guys were sitting next to each other. What kind of things, I guess, can you say to him as far as, you know, courting him or just trying to bring him over to Matchroom, like things that you feel make sense?
I think that Shakur is fighting a one-man war with the boxing community and world, and it's quite draining, to be honest with you. Like, he's a young man, so he's got appetite for it and a fight for it, but really there's no megaphone, there's no machine. Like, I know, you know, for a fact that the gate last week was very good, very strong in Newark. Didn't sell as many tickets as tonight, but it was a very good gate. And we know that ESPN recorded their biggest rating of 2024. But no one's really talking about that because no one wants to, because he's left, you know. So I don't really have to pitch too much. I think if we can deliver the fights, he will 100% sign with us. I don't think that's the question. I just think that he has to look at the fluidity of whatever deal he does to make sure that he's not restricted in terms of the fights that he needs to take for his career and his legacy. Because the fights that he's been in, the last 2 or 3 fights, listen, he's on great money, but you're not seeing the best of Shakur Stevenson because you're only going to see the best against, you know, Zepeda or against Lomachenko or against Tank or against, I don't know, Pitbull if he moves to 140 or Para or, you know, these kind of fights. So I really like him. I said to him tonight, I've been promoting him for probably the last 2 years for free. And I'll continue to be honest with you, and I think he's outstanding. I think he's a brilliant fighter. Brilliant.
Last couple, guys, and then Jaron
Jeff.
will be coming in.
Jeff, hit first boxing right here. Diego Pacheco.
Still got the jacket on, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Good man.
Diego Pacheco, he's fighting Maciek Sulenski in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Another venue. How many people fits in that venue right there?
Yeah, that's probably, I mean, this is a great venue. Dignity Health, a.k.a. StubHub, that I knew, is probably my favourite venue in America for boxing, the War Grounds. It only holds, I think, 5,000, 6,000, something like that. It is such a great venue. I mean, so much so, Kell Brook beat Sean Porter there many years ago. It was one of my greatest nights. And open air, we believe we'll fill that up. We need your help with the Polish community in Los Angeles, of course. But Pacheco's a great fighter. You know, it's been difficult to find the right opponent for him. I'm pleased with Sulecki. I think he'll give him a solid test, but I think Pacheco's ready to fight for the world title after this, maybe 2 more max, and we expect a great crowd in Los Angeles.
Eddie, with Loma and Tank probably fighting each other next, and what Oscar said the other day about Zepeda potentially not fighting Shakur unless Shakur signed with Golden Boy, I don't know what to make of that exactly, but who would you like to, if Shakur were to sign with you within the lightweight division, who would you have him fight? And do you think the Zepeda fight could be made because you're both with the DAZN?
Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? I mean, like, I was shocked by Oscar's comments because he talks a great game about everybody working together and making the best fights for boxing. And then kind of like the mask comes off and he says, I'll only make that fight if he signs with me. I mean, you're taking a payday away from Zepeda. You're taking a world championship opportunity away from Zepeda by not making the fight. And I would expect DAZN to say, no, look, we want to do this fight. We don't care who's with who. So, yeah, I mean, look, I can't control Oscar or Golden Boy. If we do sign Shakur Stevenson and they don't want the payday or the opportunity for Zepeda, there's nothing you can do about it. But hopefully they've got the best interests of Zepeda and boxing and, most importantly for me, the platform of DAZN at heart. So I do think Zepeda is the right fight for him. You know, I think he'll look good in that fight, and I think that would be a good fight to make.
Nobody has the skills to get somebody in long range and just put it here.
Now he can't lose now.
Assassinated before the like 56 are going up. And he's gonna raise money. Raise a lot of money.
He's a boxing.
Eddie, what do you think about that? I was going to tweet him because it wasn't far from here, right?
Yeah. It was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Or Paul. I don't know.
Biden gotta go sit down.
Two people killed or something?
Yeah, two. The shooter and somebody in the press.
Random person.
Eddie, what do you think about it?
Pennsylvania has a lot of.
Oh, don't start asking me Trump questions.
The setup.
This guy here, sit here. Eddie, sit up here. Guys, just before we go into the boots presser, obviously we're going to be waiting about 10-15 minutes for him to do his drugs test, etc. I want a couple of words for the WBC Featherweight World Champion. I thought a great performance tonight from Sky Nicholson. Trainer Eddie Lamb as well. Open to the floor for questions.
Sky, you've got two. Colin McGuigan, IFL TV. Sky, you've got 2 mandatories called, but one of the ones in the UK is Raven Chapman. You've got all these people calling you out. Who do you want next?
I don't care who's next. I think there's some really great fights there. I love the fights. I'm glad I'm being hunted now. I don't have to go looking for the fights. They're coming to me. Whoever's next, can't wait. Let's go.
Just for me on that, Colm, I think that we've already planned to fight Raven Chapman. I have no problem fighting Tiara Brown as well, by the way. I think they're 2 really good fights, but all of our conversations with Queensbury have been around the Raven Chapman fight. So I think those guys have got to kind of sort it out themselves as to who is next, and we're happy to fight either of them. Yeah.
Over here, you've put on a more of an offensive performance today. I don't know if you noticed, but Philly is known for being very harsh as it comes to sports fans, very critical fan base here. You did get a lot of cheers from the crowd. Talk to me about the experience of fighting in Philly and getting this win here tonight.
It was amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. I felt the crowd's presence. I felt the fans get behind me. And I was happy to put on a show. I feel like I'm showing little glimpses each time, a little bit more. And yeah, I showed out tonight for the fans, and I had fun in there.
James Bell over here with the Boxing Source. Looked like you were real comfortable in the ring after about round 3 or 4. Did you feel like you were kind of like gauging the distance there in those first couple of rounds, and then after that you just pretty much like tried to school her?
Yeah, that was the game plan. All of her stoppages had come in the first 3 rounds. So we knew she was going to be dangerous in the early rounds, and it was all about sticking behind the jab, gauging the distance and having a look at her. I feel like we stuck to the game plan perfectly tonight. And yeah, I think it worked well.
Sky, Kevin Garcia with Fight Hype here. I know you just said a couple moments ago, you didn't really care who was next. You'd take on whoever. But in your division at 126 pounds, Amanda Serrano, who's fighting next week, is holding on to 3 of those belts. How interested are you in seeing Amanda Serrano in the ring in the near future?
I've been chasing that fight for a while now. People talk about the back and forth. I wouldn't call it back and forth because we're not getting much back. I don't see her fighting at featherweight again in 2024, let alone maybe ever. So I am losing hope in that fight happening, which is unfortunate because I don't want to fight for vacant belts. I want to dethrone champions. I want to secure my legacy, and I want to beat the best to prove that I'm the best. So while it's frustrating, I'm not going to keep chasing something that she's not showing any interest in giving us. So I don't see that fight happening. Obviously, it's the fight everyone in the featherweight division wants. But yeah, I'm kind of bored of chasing it. I think there's great fights to be made in the division without her anyway. So we're just going to focus on that for now and see what happens with the other belts.
Sky, Maurice Jones, Four Corners Boxing here. Great performance, by the way, tonight.
Thank you.
We got to see a little bit of a playful side with you in the ring. You taunting your opponent. Like, at what point during the fight that you knew, like, this girl just wasn't really on your level, and that you didn't have to go in there and be an aggressor and fall into her type of game, but fight your game and what your coach is telling you?
I feel like I know that from round 1. I know that with pretty much everyone I fight. For me, I had fun in there. She was taunting me a little bit, trying to get me upset, I don't know. But I was comfortable throughout the whole fight. I don't think there was 1 second of that fight that I felt uncomfortable or out of control. The taunting and the showboating stuff's never from a place of disrespect either. It's just, I'm having fun in there.
Sky, what went into your ring walk song? How'd you come up with that one?
I wanted a Philly artist. I wanted the crowd to enjoy the walkout as well. I love the trumpets and the intro of that song, which they skipped. So I was a bit bummed about that. It kind of went straight into the chorus, so I missed that bass drop, but we'll work on that for next time.
Hey, Sky. Mark Abrams, Boxing Hour, 15rounds.com. They talked about your jab earlier here in the press conference, but your left hand kind of around the guard was really working tonight. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's another thing we've really been working on. I've been boxing 16 years, and I don't think I threw a left hook until probably the last few months. So that's definitely been a shot we're working on. We're working on it out the back just before going out to the ring. So, I was really happy to get that shot off a few times tonight as well.
This question is for Eddie. Terrell with Fight View 360. A little bit out of the loop this week with boxing news, forgive me. But there's a rumor going around about Liam Parrell possibly taking on George Kambosos. And could you elaborate on that? And if possibly, would it make sense to have Sky on that card?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, actually, we really wanted Sky to box in Australia for her first defence, but time was short and they like a big build-up there. So Liam Parrell's win over Matthias, he wants that big homecoming, whether that's against Devin Haney, whether that's against the Catterall Prograis winner, or whether that's against George Kambosos, which seems to be a fight that the Australians are excited about. Sky would definitely be co-main event on that slot as well. And, Raven Chapman would be a great fight. Tiara Brown would be a great fight for that slot as well. Obviously, the plan for any champion should be to unify the division, but I would definitely, if we do that card in Australia, Sky will definitely be fighting in Australia, which would be, I think, great for her career, because obviously she's Australian. She's only boxed there once in 11 fights, so it'd be great to return there. All right, guys.
Sky.
Last one. So, yeah.
Sky, George Hansen, the Pope of Pugilism. you just dominated. It was a wonderful performance, and you hit her with everything except the referee. At what point do you? I mean, you're just outclassing people and not getting touched. I mean, you didn't even break a sweat or get touched. At what point do you think you have to go for the knockout? Because people knockouts sell tickets.
The art of boxing: hit and don't get hit, stay pretty, get paid. I mean, I think the crowd enjoyed the fight tonight. I think the fans enjoyed the fight tonight. I wasn't looking for the knockout, but I was hitting her with clean shots. She was a tough girl. I don't think every opponent would have taken the shots that she took tonight. We knew she was going to be tough. Her only defeat, she was very tough in that fight as well, didn't get stopped. So it depends on the opponent as well, but I had fun in there, staying pretty, keeping my brain cells, getting paid.
Right, guys. Thank you. Well done, Sky. Good performance.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.